using them unnecessarily. My definition is...
Okay, who defines unnecessarily? What is
food, clothing?
Okay, let's not... Okay, you said food and clothing. We're getting somewhere now. We're getting somewhere. We're getting to the bottom of it. Food and clothing. Okay, don't use them for food and clothing. Can we use them? Can we use them for other things? And can we use them for other things like some European countries are? Denmark. There are brothels in Denmark. Zoophilia, you know. In Holland, there are markets you walk through. There are women selling themselves, living women standing in cases, and they have rates just like that. In some countries, there are brothels with animals, and they are well kept. They are well fed. They are bathed every day. They are cleaned every day, so they don't smell bad. So when the lover comes, he can have a good time with that particular
You seem to know a lot about these.
So your problem seems to be your problem. But it doesn't exist.
I know, but he seems to know so much. It's weird. That
No, because I read articles. How do I know about this? How do I know about this? I know about it because I read articles. Articles come up on newspapers, right? So maybe you're not interested in this topic. You don't want to know, but I am interested in objective morality. How do people define morality? How far do we go? What's your limit? What's your line? How do you draw the line? If your issue is
sentience,
if your issue is,
I can say it right now.
With us,
fundamentally, your objective morality is based on God.
What's wrong with having, by your standard, what's wrong with having sex with animals when you are not mistreating, when you are loving them by their logic, by the logic of...
You're using them unnecessarily. This is what we're against, using animals unnecessarily.
By the logic of zoophiles, not pedophiles, zoophiles, right? Animal lovers, by their logic, they argue that we're taking care of these poor little souls who are being mistreated in abattoirs. They're being mistreated in farms, and they get slaughtered and they get pushed around, they get thrown around. We are taking care of them I mean, if we apply your logic, if the treatment is bad, we're with you, right? But on top of that, our morality dictates that you cannot have sex with animals. They are not for sex. But what stops you? What stops you? The question is, why do you think having sex with animals is wrong, especially when it leads to their welfare? Apparently, it leads to their welfare. They're well kept. They're not in pain. They are bathed, they are fed nicely, and they're kept in nice accommodation. So what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that?
I wrote it in a big sign for you. It's unnecessary.
Who defines unnecessary? Whose definition? You can take one.
Listen, and second thing is, right, animal rights, right, hold on. Animal rights is basically just like just an extension of human rights. We don't, hold on, calm down, my friend.
But whose definition?
Calm down, just let him finish.
Yes, of course.
We
want to have a conversation.
Within our laws that, raping fellow human beings is wrong, yeah?
Well, what is rape? What is rape?
What is rape? You actually need to be described like the forceful...
Sex without consent.
Right, okay. So where is consent involved? When people can consent. When they are able to consent, right?
Yeah.
Right? But in case of prostitution, many prostitutes don't want to sell their bodies. They don't. They are forced into this business.
You know when the horse doesn't like it.
Due to a number of factors. Some of them have no food to eat. There are single mothers. They are forced into it. They go and sell their bodies. They're not happy with it, right? If they had another choice, they would be doing another business. But they go into it. Would you call that rape? But legally is okay. Would you call that rape?
Well,
why are we moving away?
We're only here to talk about veganism, okay?
So everything you claim standing here today is going to go against you. It's going to be thrown back at you tenfold. Because your standing is unstatic, unpredictable, undecisive.
Something weird you have mentioned. You said your morality is based upon science. Is that what you said?
Empathy, logic, reason, just being a nice, decent human being, like basic manners.
Beautiful. Scientifically now, science doesn't dictate morality. Do we all agree? Right? You said science. Science and logic. You said science and logic. Science does not dictate morality. So, using science, scientifically looking at things, how are animals well kept? by the logic of the zoophiles, those who like to have sex with animals, by their logic, scientifically, animals are happier.
You're so desperate to hear yourself speak. You just go on about this nonsense.
I'm just making a point. You can throw it back at me.
He's against that.
I'm against.
He's against.
No, I haven't. You haven't. I haven't. Not to my knowledge.
You pay other people to do it because you don't have you're a coward. It's not doing it yourself. You're coward.
You can use these emotional arguments against me. I'm happy to receive them. But I am okay. You're a chef. Okay.
I just want to address the scientific point.
Science. Go back to science and logic. We're going to deal with this scientifically and logically. Scientifically, taking care of animals, treating them nicely, having sex once every day, doesn't hurt them. Scientifically, it's okay.
1 minute.
Why is science against that? Go ahead.
Fundamental of scientific methodology is that it keeps on changing, right? Today we have science. We had so many theories previously which we believe to be true, including, for example, Newton's theories, etc. Today they are changed. Now you're telling me, based upon current scientific knowledge, that plants are sentient beings. They are non-sentient.
No, we're not saying that at all.
No, 1 minute. You're saying you can eat plants, even though because they are non-sentient beings. Right? You breathe, you kill a lot of germs because they are non-sentient beings. You're not going to stop breathing. That is based upon today's scientific knowledge. So tomorrow we have another. Allow me. Tomorrow we have a scientific Tomorrow we have another scientific theory that tells us plants are actually sentient beings, and the germs you kill by breathing. Allow me to finish the argument. And germs you breathe in. When you breathe in, you kill millions and thousands of germs. Are also sentient. Are you going to stop breathing and stop eating plants as well?
Sentient. Plant sentience is actually a really strong argument for veganism. So thank you for bringing that up. It's a really good argument for veganism because when we eat animals,
what is it based upon?
Calm down.
I am calm. Don't patronize me. I am calm. It's just you don't have the answers to my question.
No, but he's trying to give it
up. Plant sentience is a really strong argument for veganism.
What is it based upon?
So it takes roughly, give or take, I mean it's not exact and it depends on the animal, but it takes roughly 16 kilograms of plant protein to produce 1 kilogram of animal protein. So by eating animals, we actually kill more plants in the process when we could actually just go directly to source. So honestly, thank you for bringing that up. It's a really good, strong argument for veganism. So,
okay, what is it based upon? So you're happy to kill one living creature, but you're not happy to kill the other because of what? Because
I have
more plants.
I have a desire to continue my existence.
Thank you. Don't get the moral argument.
I didn't choose to be born into this world. None of us are. We are forced into existence. Yeah. I try to reduce.
By who?
Yeah, we are.
Who forced you?
Who forced you? You can kill yourself today rather than killing plants and animals.
But who forced? You just said I have been forced into existence. That's an argument in our favor. We also believe that. We also believe that we have been created again. I mean, we didn't will to be created. I didn't want to be created. No one asked me to be created. I was created by someone else's will. So you just made. Thank you very much. Thank you. We agree. We have been pushed into creation. Yes, we are. Now
I try to reduce my impact on this planet as much as possible. I try to cause the least amount of damage possible.
Then go into hibernation. Go into hibernation. Go into hibernation.
I do have a preference.
You should not be walking on the streets of London. You should not be breathing.
We have no
You
rights.
should not be pissing. You should not be defecating. You should not be doing any of these things because they have an impact on the environment. Because you know, 1 plus 1 equals 2, and then 2 turns into 20, and then 200. So if you want to reduce your harm on this planet, go into hibernation and don't come out. Because then obviously when you're going to come out, you're going to be eating food, you're taking food from others, right? If they share.
But by me being out and about, I can actually educate others that really don't understand the impact
but
that
then,
they're having.
at the same time,
I think you two, you're not going to change. But you're giving good airtime. You're giving people around you to hear the nonsense that you're saying and logic that comes
why
out.
is it nonsense?
Because you're causing so much more damage by not being vegan. And what is stopping you from being vegan? Why cause the most amount of harm when you can cause the least?
My logic, you are obviously using a philosophy to be vegans, right? There is a philosophy.
It's basic manners.
There are arguments and there is some thinking behind it. We are simply challenging that thinking. We are challenging that philosophy.
One of your reasons is your imaginary friends. It's ridiculous.
Imaginary friends. We have imaginary friends, and they have visible friends who come and dictate their morality and ethics to them.
Not just morality, objective moral values.
Yes.
And what does your imaginary friend think about the way you're treating this planet?
We don't know who you're talking about.
You're destroying it. Animal agriculture is the leading cause of environmental damage.
But who are you talking about?
We are absolutely destroying this planet with the way we eat.
We agree. On that
We kill 60 billion, we breed 60 billion lives that did not exist into existence just to kill them.
Cruelty to animals, I'm with you.
Let's firstly explain to them what our faith, Islam, dictates on animals. It is absolutely forbidden to be cruel to animals. Absolutely. We have been given specific instructions as to the treatment of animals. We cannot overburden animals. We cannot kill animals except when we consume them for food. We cannot indiscriminately, we can't even burn beehives. In Islam, we can't even burn. When we want to take the honey, we cannot burn bees. We're not allowed to do that. Even in war, we cannot do such things, right? So we have very specific instructions when it comes to being vegans and being meat eaters, right? This is a completely separate issue now. You're using a philosophy to challenge it, and we are using a philosophy to challenge back, to respond.
I want to challenge back on one of your points. So you said we don't need to kill animals unless we're using them for food.
Yes.
But we don't have to use them for food. We have alternatives. So what reason do we have to use them?
That's a very good opinion. I have no problem with that view. You are perfectly allowed and free to exercise your view. We have no problem with that. Likewise, we have a view that meat gives you extra nutrients that are important for human well-being, right? You get a lot of nutrition from meat that you cannot get from plants. So therefore, my argument is also strong. If you want to claim that your argument is strong, at least have the decency to accept that we have strong arguments in our favor as well. But when you use philosophy, when you use logic and science, it can go against you. I can turn science around and show you how scientifically being kind to animals in brothels, having sex with them, taking care of them, scientifically, it is a stronger argument than being vegans. You can have them in brothels, take care of them, give them a bath every day, they smell nice, put perfumes on them, and let people have sex with them when people are not hurting them. Scientifically, there's nothing wrong with this. Scientifically, strictly speaking.
Is anyone like this viewpoint? Can I get a raise of hands from anyone that thinks we should breed animals into existence to have sex with them?
That's not his viewpoint.
Did you even get my point? I'm a Muslim. Do you know where I'm coming from? I'm saying, did you get my point? Did you understand? I'm making an argument against this notion of having sex with animals. I'm saying scientific, if you use science, strictly speaking.
Why don't you science?
Wait. You said science and logic.
Science for nutrition. Science for nutrition,
Both. When we ask you, what are you using as your base to argue your case? You said science and logic.
I said empathy.
I'm saying, as a Muslim, we cannot have sex with animals. We cannot be cruel to animals. We cannot do any of these things as a Muslim. I'm clarifying so that you understand, because you don't seem to get my point.
You don't seem to keep on telling me that I think that's
I'm saying if we had no God and all we had was, okay, no problem, that's your opinion, no problem, and all we had was science, then we would be in big trouble. we would be in big trouble. I'll tell you why. Scientifically, strictly speaking, there's nothing wrong with having sex with animals. Tell me why it's wrong. Scientifically speaking.
Unhealthy.
It's completely unnecessary, and we have absolutely no right to
Science doesn't tell you what's necessary and unnecessary. I'm saying scientific. Listen to me carefully. Maybe you don't know what science is, how science works. You know scientific method. You know the philosophy of science. Have you ever studied it? Scientifically speaking, tell me why it's wrong to have sex with animals, especially when they're being taken care of. I'm against it. I'm against it. So that you don't get because you don't seem to get my point. I am a Muslim. My morality, which comes from God, dictates that we cannot have sex with animals. It is an abhorrent act.
Yeah,
okay, number one. Number two, we cannot be cruel to animals. It is abhorrent. Okay, now because you said science and logic, I'm saying both. When you use science and logic, there's nothing wrong, strictly speaking.
What do you mean by
I'm talking. Can I finish it? So can you now tell me?
I haven't been using scientific.
He said science and logic.
I've been saying empathy. You know,
empathy.
I wouldn't want to have someone have randomly have
so it's
sex
not
with
science.
me.
Okay, good. We're making some progress. It's not science then. It's not science, right? Do you both agree that scientifically you're not using science anymore?
I am using science.
Okay, then you tell me. Can you please explain to me scientifically, strictly speaking, by the rules and philosophy of science, why is it wrong to have sex with animals?
Okay, so we know these animals are completely sentient. They want to live. They don't want to be used. We're using them unnecessarily for doing that, and they value their own lives. So to have someone come up and rape them.
But then why have sex with humans? Because they don't want to be used. Some of them don't want to be used.
There's a mutual agreement.
No.
There isn't that case of animals, and that's how we.
You're not harming the animal. You're being very kind. You're being very kind to the animal, like in these animal brothels around Europe, in Denmark and Germany. There are animal brothels. Scientifically speaking, I'm asking, why is it wrong? Again, you have to understand, science does not dictate morality. Science doesn't tell you what is good, what is bad. There is nothing in science whatsoever that tells you what is good, Science doesn't tell you murder is wrong. Science tells you what happens after you murder someone, God forbid. But science doesn't tell you whether murder is wrong or right.
Empathy does.
I agree, 100%.
I don't need an imaginary friend to tell me what's right
from wrong. Your friend
wrong.
insists on using science.
Yeah, to follow the diet, so it's scientifically proven that we can live a healthy life on a plant-based diet.
Can we move step by step? I'll come to empathy as well. Now, can we use science to either accept or reject zoophilia?
This is irrelevant to what our initial discussion was, which is...
It is directly relevant, I'll explain. Can we use science to either accept or reject zoophilia?
Again, this is irrelevant to what we were initially discussing.
I will explain how it's relevant. Can we use science...
Why don't you just explain how it's relevant then?
Because some people argue, right, that they are more empathetic, they love animals, in big inverted commas, they love animals, therefore they would like to be intimate with them.
Yeah,
so they have their own science. They explain that we are very attracted to us.
Veganism isn't about loving animals, this is about not using animals. This is about recognizing that they want to live. Good. So allow me to finish my point.
Yes.
And what you were saying earlier is that we needed meat for nutritional reasons, right? Okay, so you can get those same nutrients from plants, okay? You can be happy and healthy and strong. So what reason do we have to use animals? That's what I'm asking you. That's what I've been trying to get to for like the past half an hour. That's it.
What reason?
What reason do we have to use animals?
Okay. When you say use,
yes. So that's for food. That's for fashion.
Define use. Whose definition of use? Because it's a very. You're using.
Do you know what the word use means? You kept on asking us what we mean scientifically.
Please do teach me the English language because I'm trying to learn. When you say use, who defines it, and why do you choose that particular definition over other definitions?
Culture defines it. You can just look at the definition.
Culture varies from place to place, from time to time, from persons to persons, because culture sometimes...
I mean, I could look up the definition of use for you on my smartphone if you want, but like,
whose definition of use are you using?
Like, the only way we're going to make progress in this is through use of language.
No, sometimes people assume meanings of terminology they don't understand. They don't know how to apply it. So you're assuming a meaning of the term use.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, who defines what is actually being used?
The animal, against their will. And it's not what it's
Who defines that term use? What is use? How are you using the animal? When
So you're using the animal to kill
some
them,
people
you're
would
using it
argue.
for
Some people
entertainment,
would
you're using
argue
it for
otherwise.
clothing.
No, some people would argue otherwise because now it's your reason against theirs. They would argue we're not using the animals. It is for their well-being. For example, like in Africa, those people who go and pay $100,000 and they go and kill a lion. They go and hunt one of the big fives. Okay. I'm actually campaigning on those things as well currently. They go and kill elephants. No, I don't think rhinos are allowed to be killed. Elephants, lions, one of the big fives, right? And they pay. And the logic is we use this money for animal well-being. So you can argue, actually they are using animals for their barbarity, for their excitement, to please their, their perversity or perversion.
Yeah.
But they are arguing, and they have very strong arguments that we are killing one animal to protect another 100. You see, so your definition of use may differ from another definition of use. So who defines your use?
I mean,
and why do we have to accept your definition of use?
We can apply that for so many words right now. I mean, just picking that one word, use, for the sake of.
That's very important. That's a very important term. You're saying the animals are being used.
Yeah.
I am asking you, how do you know that they are being used? Because the use can be. Who defines good and bad in this situation? You have no definition. You're atheist, I'm assuming.
I'm agnostic.
You're agnostic. Okay. So you have no definition of good and bad. Objective definition. I don't mean you have a definition of your own. You have your personal definition of good and bad. I'm willing to accept that. I'm not saying atheists and agnostics are not moral people. They do have morality.
I have better
but their
morals than
morality
you.
is
My morals are higher than yours by far.
Look, my fundamental.
How?
Because I'm not using others. You are killing and exploiting others, and you're standing here trying to justify that based on what? A book? I mean, it's ridiculous. We are destroying this planet. We kill roughly 2.6 trillion animals every single year for a completely unjustifiable reason. They're not commodities. We do not need them for food, for clothing, for testing. We are so arrogant with the way we use this planet. We think we're so superior to those. They are sentient creatures with their own individual personalities and minds.
Everything you've just said, I agree with it 100%.
So why
do you accuse me of?
What is stopping you from going vegan?
We are not radically blind as you are, right? Because you're blind. You're blind to any other reason. You have arrogance.
I haven't heard a good reason yet.
Okay, maybe you're not listening. Maybe you're not listening. Maybe you're completely blocked and you don't want to listen. You can only listen to yourself, but not others. I'm trying to explain something to you that you have no objective morality. When I say
going
objective,
on about this objective morality, it's ridiculous.
Okay, who defines your morality? Who defines your right and wrong?
Yeah, I am.
You tell me.
I do.
Okay, why do I have to accept your definition?
No, you don't. No, you don't. No,
Okay.
you don't.
I have just to show how flawed your reasoning is. You're an atheist.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
You have a mother.
Yeah.
Would you have sex with her?
No.
Why not? What's wrong with it?
Because it's fucking weird, man.
Who says it's weird? To some people, it's not weird.
Yeah, I do. I'm saying
animals do it.
Yeah.
Animals do it.
Yeah,
Dogs and cats.
And I don't base my morals on what animals do. I base
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, whose morals do you use?
Yeah, my own.
No, these are Judeo-Christian, Islamic morality you're using because it is weird to imagine having sex with your mother because you have been influenced, you have been conditioned by Judeo-Christian morality of the West. The Western culture, it is directly influenced by Judeo-Christian morality. Being an atheist, there is nothing wrong with having sex. If your mother is fit, she looks pretty, she's nice, she's taking care of herself, she's about 35 and you're 20, if she had you when she was 15, there's nothing wrong with being an atheist. I'm a Muslim, I'm against it. I'm against it because my God tells me. You as an atheist, you have to now explain to me why it is wrong to have sex with your mother.
I don't have to explain that to you.
Don't explain it to me. I accept that because you cannot explain that to me. You cannot use atheism and explain that to me because you have no reasons.
Again, veganism, atheism's just the default. We are like...
It's not default.
Yeah, no, you're taught.
It is an acquired
you
position.
You are taught to be religious.
Atheism is an acquired position.
Veganism's a default.
No.
We are taught to exploit others. No. We are taught, we are taught to be sexist. We're taught to be racist. We're taught to be homophobic.
But can you answer my question? Would you have sex with your mother? If not, why not?
No, I don't have to answer that stupid question.
Why is that stupid question?
It's ridiculous. How has that got to do with using animals?
Because everything we're discussing today is directly linked to morality. The issue of morality. You keep saying wrong, right, wrong, right, wrong, right, and I'm asking you, where do you get your wrong, right? Science doesn't give you. Science doesn't give you wrong, right.
We're going round in circles because I'm saying I'm getting it from mine, and you're getting it from your imaginary friend, and we're just going to have that impasse. Okay.
Put my imaginary friend on the side for a second. Put him aside. Put him aside. No. I'm willing. Put him aside for a second. I'm asking you, why is it wrong for you to have sex with your mother? Why is it weird? You said it's weird. Why? Sorry? Me? I know why it's wrong. Wrong, abhorrent, unpleasant, weird. The term he used, it's weird. Why? By what culture? But of course it's weird. I agree with you.
I don't need a culture to tell me that.
But as an atheist, if you had sex with your mother, would that be morally incorrect? Did you hear with me? If I was asked that question, I would say, no way, man, no way. That's forbidden. That's forbidden. But he has to think about it. He has to think. He has to go.
That's not the topic.
Yeah.
That's not the topic.
No.
You went
no, don't worry about it. I'll come to you as well. I'll come to you as well. I'll come to you as well. Do you want to answer the question?
This is the topic.
Do you want to answer the
what we went in with?
This is not about religion.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm asking. I'm going to repeat the question because
No,
because the question of veganism.
And now we're talking
a lot of
What is better? What is better? What is better for us?
I'm asking a very important question. For an atheist to have sex with your mother, why is that bad? If you had sex with your mother, no, why can't you? You see, there's a reason why you guys are frustrated. There's a reason. Because you cannot answer my question.
You're gold dust, my friend. You are gold dust. You're actually giving me a really good opportunity to talk to other people. I can't get through to you. I cannot get through to you, but maybe I can get through to the other people.
Do you understand?
And your reasons so far have been, what was it, zoophiles, like, so having sex with animals, and having sex with mothers.
No.
That's like, we're trying to talk about the unnecessary exploitation of animals.
What's your name?
You keep on talking about having sex with animals.
What's
and
your name?
having sex with our mothers. I don't.
What's your name? Tim. Adnan. Yeah. Tim, for the last half an hour, I have been making my point very clear. Why am I arguing the way I'm arguing? I made it very clear. Did everyone understand my point? Did you get my point? Who's been listening for the last half an hour? I think most people are. Did you get my point? Do you understand why I'm saying what I'm saying? Right? He doesn't seem to get it. When I'm using zoophilia as an example, when I'm using having sex with your mother as an example of morality, you understand?
You say using animals is wrong. It's because
yeah,
morally
can you please
wrong.
explain that to me? Because he doesn't seem to get my point.
That's why he's saying animals is morally wrong. You say it's morally wrong.
Yes.
And he's trying to decipher where you get those morals from. You say it's morally wrong. Why do you think that's morally wrong?
Now that he explained it, maybe you understood it. We understand it now.
And the same because
do you understand my argument?
If you're going to say he wants to find where the morals are wrong, if you get where you get your morals from, and when you get where your morals from,
this is a different argument.
So maybe perhaps I should talk to him and then he should explain it to you. You might be able to understand it better. My argument is very simple. I'm basically drilling your conception of morality. Put my imaginary friend aside. You keep saying imaginary spaghetti monster or something like that. You guys use different terms, you know.
Sky wizard.
Yeah, exactly. Put sky wizard aside. I'm asking you, my teacher. I'm your student. I'm willing to humble myself. I want you to teach me why having sex with your mother is wrong. By the standards of atheism. If an atheist goes and has sex with his mother, why should he feel guilty?
Because it completely diminishes well-being. It's wrong. We know that this.
Why? She's enjoying it. You're enjoying it. What's the problem?
And you're trying to say if they're both consenting adults and they use
both
protection,
consenting
Thank
you.
adults,
If the mother consents, okay. So if the mother consents and the son consents,
and they both use
they
protection,
both can do it. And there's nothing wrong with that?
I can't, I'm not going to stop them. I'm not going to stop two consenting adults to do something that they can both consenting.
Is that wrong? What they're doing, is it wrong?
I think it's weird.
I'm asking, is it wrong or right?
I'm saying it's weird. That's my answer.
Fine, it is weird. I get the point. I'm not asking about whether it's weird. I know it's weird.
No, that's my answer.
It's perverted. I'm going to go further. It's perverted, right? I'm asking whether it's wrong or right. Would you consider it to be a crime? Like veganism, to you, you're saying meat eating is wrong. You're saying that, standing here very confidently. You're saying eating meat is wrong.
I'm saying exploiting. I'm saying exploiting others is wrong.
Okay, but mother and the son are consenting.
Are they being exploited?
They have sex with each other.
Exploited?
You still don't get my point.
Are they being exploited?
You still don't get my point. Is it wrong?
I completely get it. It's just a completely pointless point.
Wait. Is it wrong for a mother?
It's weird.
I got the point, but now you're being diplomatic. You're not giving an answer to me. Is it wrong for a mother to have sex with her son if both are consenting?
Morally, no.
Morally, no. Okay. You?
Yeah.
No, it's not wrong.
If they're both consenting.
So now you are also weird. You are also weird because you have now accepted something morally abhorrent which your nature doesn't accept. Your nature, your inner disposition doesn't accept it. But because you want to be consistent, you want to be consistent with your ideology, you want to say no, it's not wrong. But it is you and I know it is wrong. Yeah. It is wrong. But you just said it's not wrong.
If they're both consenting,
then it's not wrong.
What's the problem?
This
is both consenting.
See now, this is the point. This is where we draw the line between atheists and Muslims. This is where we draw the line. Yeah. We are better with our spaghetti monster, our imaginary friend, or the heavenly.
This is not about the religion. Again, this is not a topic about the religion.
Maybe you're not listening to us.
This is not a topic about religion. But this sign is not about the religion.
Exactly. I got your point. You said it once, I got it straight away. But are you listening to us? The conversation?
Yes, but
this issue is directly linked to the concept of morality. You are standing here because of moral reasons. You're saying veganism is right because of moral reasons. Meat eating is wrong because of moral reasons. And I am now going to the foundations, the issue of morality. Before we use a yardstick to judge someone else, we need to establish what the yardstick is. What are you using as your moral criterion, your moral standard, and moral compass? This is exactly why I'm asking you the question about mother and son. If to you it is not wrong for a mother and son to have sex with each other, consenting.
Both consenting.
This is why we believe atheism is counterproductive for humanity. It would eventually lead to the destruction of humanity, and atheists don't actually realize it. Now look at this one. If both consenting adults are having sex, okay, and they're not using contraception, they would have children, and those children, as we know, they would be born deformed after a while, right? So your atheism, your morality can actually lead to destruction of humanity. Do you agree? Do you agree?
Maybe,
Tim, very nice talking to you.
It's not a bad thing.
Very nice talking to you.
We are the most destructive species this planet has ever seen.
I agree.
We are parasites on this planet. We are destroying it.
I agree.
Okay?
I agree. Yeah, but I agree. Everything you just said there, we are destructive. We are immoral, generally speaking. We are selfish. We are parasites. I agree, because we have put God aside. We have our own philosophies, our own standards, our own morality. That's why we're destructive. Exactly what you're doing now. Exactly what you're doing. This is the point I'm making, that we are destructive because we have ignored our Creator. Our Creator who created us gave us morality, gave us standards to live by. We ignore His standards and we go into self-destruction. This is how we're self-destructive.